but he gets stuck there with Venom and Carnage, who seem like the cutest gay couple.
They are adorable
They
together.
are adorable.
Their banter is just remarkable.
Welcome one, welcome all to Nonsense Reviews. I'm Brad Nellis.
I am, what's my name again? Oh yeah, I am Scott Honickman.
So this isn't a typical nonsense review where we start all happy, talking about ridiculous things, because right now we need to pay some respects for a loss that us Marvel fans had to endure. Now, because Sony just had to make a well-thought-out financial move, we, the nerds, are hurting because they gave up Spider-Man. They gave him up in the MCU to keep him in the Sony Venomverse now. So we don't know what's going to happen with Spider-Man. All we know is he's done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't feel so good. I don't want to go, sir. Please.
So me and Brandon decided to go back about 20 years and watch a Spider-Man series in honor of this tragic event.
Yeah, to remember Spider-Man, because he not only died in Infinity War, he died for real this time.
On a planet with Animorphs.
Yeah, what Scott's implying is there was a show. This was 20 years ago at this point? 1999. Called Spider-Man Unlimited. Not to be confused with the comic series Spider-Man Unlimited that came out around the same time, actually. And it's not the typical Spider-Man show where he's swinging around New York making quips to animal-themed villains. In this show, he's swinging around some Counter-Earth, still making those quips, but around actual animal people, furries.
Spider-Man is on a distant world with furries in this series, Spider-Man Unlimited, that only ran for one season, right? About 20-something episodes. Brandon saw all of it. I saw only the first 2 episodes.
I think, as a sensible person, that's all you could take. I saw it when I was 13, when I was probably going through a phase, so I definitely enjoyed it more. It's, you know what? You said that you liked it, and I can't help it. A lot of people talking about this will say, if the Spider-Man's not swinging around, where's Green Goblin? Like, you have the typical people like, well, he's not Toby Maguire. It's the typical Spider-Man sort of cancel culture, where people will complain about the show for being different and weird. And yes, it's different and weird, but that's why it's on Nonsense Reviews. I think that adds so much charm to it. So, the plot goes that J. Jonah Jameson's son, was it John Jameson? A really creative guy at Marvel. Was Stan Lee. Killed it.
Sylvester Jameson.
So he's going up into space to like this Counter-Earth, but he gets stuck there with Venom and Carnage, who seem like the cutest gay couple.
They are adorable together.
They are adorable.
Their banter is just remarkable.
Better than Tom Hardy, I said it. Venom's very handsy too. Like, I wouldn't bring my son near him. Or my daughter, or my
Daddy,
dog,
I want
a
a picture with Venom and Carnage.
You go to Disney World. Hey, Dad, no! I've seen Spider-Man Unlimited. You haven't. Get away. This is not the Tom Hardy we know and love. It's okay. We got her. So anyway, John Jameson, he's stuck on this Counter-Earth with these 2 symbiotic, the cutest couple ever. And Spider-Man, the homophobe that he is, he
hears about a gay couple on this planet. He's like, I'm there. I'm abandoning New York.
He makes a new suit, sort of like Batman Beyond, which is okay. So this is similar to Batman Beyond because this is sort of a pseudo sequel to the 90s animated series in a way. And that ends where for some reason he's with Madam Web and he has to find the real Mary Jane because he was with a fake Mary Jane who disintegrated or something. This big cliffhanger that never got resolved. So how do we resolve it? Oh, we forget about it and he just goes to another Earth. And so just like Batman Beyond, where it takes place after the 90s animated series, this new Batman has a whole high-tech different suit because it's the future. And Spider-Man gets a new high-tech suit. But this is not for the future. It's just for another high-tech sort of Blade Runner, Jetsons type Animorph Earth that he goes to.
It's futuristic, and everybody has some sort of strange title and weird name. And
I'm Lord Tiger. I'm Ramses the Ram.
yeah, it's a very hierarchical society kind of thing.
Exactly. So it turns out there's this person called, was it the Higher One or something? This guy with the largest chest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, the big guy.
The big guy, the big man. So he comes to this earth and creates humanoid animals. He makes the animals humans in a way, and in a sense furries in another sense. And they, as you said, it's hierarchical, and they're calling the shots here, and the humans are just kind of in slums. They don't have the best life, and there's all these robots, and since I'm a Marvel nerd, I'm just going to call them Sentinels, and they sort of, they're like, you, alright, Thread? And they're sort of like that, and it's a terrible, chaotic society. So John Jameson decides to stay on this earth, and Spider-Man eventually decides to stay on this earth too, because he sees the good in the good people and he wants to exterminate the bad. Typical Spider-Man. So while it's a weird show, it still has that heart of Spider-Man, of him with great power comes great responsibility. He has to juggle being Peter Parker, being Spider-Man, but in this other world. So that's just an interesting take, and it's also just ridiculous as all heck.
Yeah, I'd never seen this kind of adaptation of Spider-Man in anything.
No.
It's pretty unique.
You can't really dream that up.
I mean, you could.
You could, but not in a sober mind. It gets weird. So he joins this sort of Sonic SatAM-esque freedom fighter group. We have like this girl with red hair.
She's adorable.
Yeah, but she's a cartoon, so let's not get too aroused.
What?
She I guess she sort of resembles Mary Jane. I don't know if that means anything or if they thought ahead. I'm not sure the show is that smart.
Dialogue's pretty well written.
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. They have someone with like this mummy type person who I just call Toilet Paper Man, who has like toilet paper powers.
It's the guy
like,
from
String People Up.
Codename Kids Next Door.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That literally
Toiletator.
Toiletator. That's literally him. We also have this guy who's the typical Australian. He has the long hair.
Billy Butcher.
And Billy Butcher from The Boys. And he has the earring on his ear, and he's buff and he's badass, and he talks like this, and he has a gun on his back.
He's pretty awesome. He adds a lot.
He
to
does.
The show.
And there actually was an episode dedicated to his backstory, and there's a lot of twists and turns. So, like, the show goes somewhere. It introduces some crazy things, some characters who you wouldn't think have death, end up do. You learn about each person on that little freedom fighter group. Spider-Man, as Peter Parker, stays with this woman and her son, who is a doctor, so I guess he doesn't have to worry about wounds too much. But later on in the show, you don't know this. He actually kind of, I think it's implied that he develops some sort of feelings for this woman. So, like, I'm sure if they made a season 2, would he cheat on Mary Jane? These are some serious questions.
This is why they didn't make a season 2.
It was too ahead of his time. So, you're dealing with the threats from this Earth. You're dealing with his dynamic as himself as Peter Parker, with the freedom fighter type people, and there's still Venom and Carnage that he deals with.
He's got a lot on his plate.
And not only that, it just gets weirder. Okay, so if I remember, it's been years. I was probably 13 when I saw this. I'm 21 now. There was like a vulture type person, like someone dressed as a vulture, and like also someone, I think it was like the equivalent of the Green Goblin. So they have like their own sort of like counterparts on this Earth. But if I remember correctly, they're actually like good guys. They're not actually the villains. So the last episode of the show, this ran, it could be like 13 episodes or something. It didn't run that long. They canceled it before they could even finish the season. And I think they tried to greenlit the last few episodes, but it never happened.
They never aired?
I mean, they reran it on Jetix. As you could see on YouTube.
Jetix.
It's going to say Jetix, and it says Yin Yang Yo coming up next.
We're going to review that next.
Maybe. it had the worst ending. The biggest cliffhanger I've ever seen in any piece of fiction whatsoever. All I'm going to say is all the main characters are there. I mean, everyone. Even sub-characters. They're all just there. And it looks like they're going to die. And it says to be continued. It never continues. So let's put in our headcanon that this was a continuation of the 90s animated series. So this whole big story just ends where we believe Spider-Man to probably be dead.
What was the next animated Spider-Man series
After this was Spider-Man the New Animated Series, which was like a sort of CG show before CG looked good.
Oh, so before Jimmy Neutron.
And Neil Patrick Harris actually voiced Spider-Man in that show. And speaking of voice acting, the voice acting of the show is actually pretty good. If you see it on YouTube, it's probably gonna be one of those things where they have to change the pitch and put it on the corner of the screen just so copyright doesn't affect it. So it's not gonna sound that good, but it is actually better. It's sort of, in a sense, I'd compare it a little bit to that 90s animated series. So is this the best Spider-Man show? No.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. I'd like to say it is, but it's not. I did name I had two pet frogs that I named Venom and Carnage after seeing the show because they're such a cute couple. But you have the 90s animated series, you have Spectacular Spider-Man, which people say is the best. But as nonsense goes, this is awesome. He's in another Earth with like furry people. This is crazy. It
is bizarre.
It's so bizarre, it's good. Just like Japanese Spider-Man, which I'm sure we'll get to later on. But it definitely does get the nonsense seal of approval from me. Scott, what did you think after seeing 2 episodes? Hearing my stories?
After seeing 2 episodes, I was shocked to see that they took Spider-Man in this kind of direction. But I feel like it works for the most part. The characters were interesting and cool.
Okay.
The animation was pretty good too.
For 1999, yeah. So, you heard it here, folks. It gets the nonsense seal of approval by me and Scott, so that's pretty official. We'll be back with some more nonsense reviews. We got Nonsense Gaming on our YouTube. We're on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're just around. We're still going to be on WGBB making more great radio for Nonsense News Nation. Stick around. We got a lot of great things coming up.
We're going to be on Pornhub too, very soon.
We'll make it happen.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Take care, guys. Until the next nonsense review, I've been Brandon Ellis.
I've been Brandon Ellis too, Scott Honickman.
Signing off.